Take a breath. A slow one. The kind that reminds you that your body is here. Your mind is here. Your heart is here. And for this moment, you don't have to carry everything alone. Because this episode, this moment, this journey, is for the part of you that has been exhausted from holding yourself together. The part of you that feels overwhelmed in a season you're supposed to be joyful in. The part of you that feels the pressure to be okay when inside something feels unsettled. The part of you that keeps functioning, keeps showing up, keeps moving, even though your spirit has been whispering for rest. This is the episode where chaos meets compassion, where noise softens, where your inner child finally has space to speak, where you learn how to shift from overwhelm into peace, from survival into connection, from emotional chaos into inner calm. Welcome to part 1. Welcome to the doorway that leads you home to yourself. Why the holidays feel heavier than the rest of the year. People often say the holidays are stressful. But that word doesn't fully capture what many of us feel. It isn't just stress. It's emotional intensity. It's unresolved memories resurfacing. It's the ache of unmet expectations. It's the pressure to be cheerful. It's the loneliness that grows louder in comparison to others. It's the sudden awareness of the year that passed, and the parts of yourself you lost along the way. The holidays act like a mirror. They reflect back the pieces of your life you've been too busy to look at. And sometimes that reflection is beautiful. And sometimes it's painful. But it's always meaningful. Because the holiday season awakens your inner child. Not the childish part of you, but the emotional truth inside you. The part of you that feels deeply. The part of you that remembers. The part of you that longs for safety, warmth, peace, and connection. Your inner child notices everything the adult you pushes aside. And during this season, with quiet nights, glowing lights, familiar smells, and old memories, your inner child moves closer to the surface, asking for your attention. This episode is where you finally give them that attention. Chaos isn't always loud. Sometimes it's silent. When people hear the word chaos, they imagine noise, conflict, stress, arguments, overwhelm. But emotional chaos is quieter. It looks like trying to appear fine while your chest feels tight. Going through holiday routines on autopilot. Feeling strangely disconnected from the joy around you. Feeling sad for no clear reason. Feeling exhausted even when nothing big is happening. Feeling guilty for wanting to be alone. Feeling stirred by memories you didn't expect. Feeling pressure to be cheerful even when you feel heavy inside. Chaos doesn't always show itself through mess. Sometimes chaos is the stillness that feels uncomfortable. The silence that feels loud. The calm exterior with a restless interior. And if this is you, if this holiday season feels emotionally crowded inside your mind, you're not broken. You're not failing. You're not behind. You're simply hearing your inner truth more clearly. This is the beginning of healing. The heaviness you feel has a story. Pause for a moment. If you feel unusually emotional during this time of year, there is a reason. Maybe this season reminds you of someone you lost. Maybe it reminds you of who you used to be. Maybe it brings up unmet expectations from childhood. Maybe it brings up old wounds wrapped inside memories. Maybe it highlights the disconnect between what you wanted and what your life looks like now. Maybe it reflects the emotional weight you kept pushing aside. Your inner child remembers everything your adult self forgot how to hold. And during the holidays, the distance between who you are and who your heart needed when you were young becomes more visible. Not to hurt you, but to free you. Because every emotion that rises now is an invitation, not an accusation, not a failure, not a sign that you're regressing. An invitation to understand yourself more deeply than you ever have before. Your inner child is the source of your peace. Here's something you may not have realized until this moment. The inner peace you are longing for does not come from controlling your life. It comes from listening to the part of you that has been quietly carrying your emotional truth. That part is your inner child. Your inner child is not a memory. They are the emotional imprint of who you were before life taught you to hide your feelings or silence your needs. They hold your tenderness, your creativity, your joy, your spontaneity, your longing for safety, your need to feel loved without earning it. your desire to be seen, your honest emotions, your emotional wounds, your unmet childhood needs, the version of you who once felt whole. When you reconnect with your inner child, you reconnect with the exact part of you that knows how to feel calm. Inner peace doesn't come from being stronger. It comes from being more connected, more present, more honest, more willing to feel every holiday emotion. The nostalgia, the ache, the longing, the anxiety. Is your inner child asking, will you finally listen to me? Will you hear what I've been holding? Will you let me rest? This episode is your yes. The moment you begin to shift from chaos to calm. Right now. Before we go deeper, pause. Take another breath. Feel your body soften, even slightly. Feel the weight you've been carrying. Feel your shoulder blades drop. Feel your breath expand. You don't have to force peace. You just have to allow space. Inner peace doesn't come in one big moment. It comes in small acknowledgements. Something inside me hurts. Something inside me needs comfort. Something inside me is tired. Something inside me wants to feel free again. Something inside me wants to trust myself. Something inside me wants to be seen. Something inside me wants rest. Your inner child hears you. Your true self hears you. Your heart hears you. This is the beginning of your shift. The holidays are a mirror and a doorway. This season isn't just a mirror revealing what's within. It's also a doorway. A doorway that leads you inward. A doorway that brings you closer to your truth. A doorway that allows you to touch feelings you've ignored or buried. A doorway that helps you understand the real you. A doorway that leads from chaos to calm. But to walk through this doorway, you must step into awareness. Awareness of your feelings. Awareness of your inner child. Awareness of the life you've been living on autopilot. Awareness of the peace that is waiting for you beneath it all. Part 2 will guide you step by step into that doorway. There, you will meet your inner child in a deeper emotional truth. You will understand the roots of your holiday heaviness. You will learn how to soothe the chaos inside you. You will discover the version of yourself that knows how to feel safe again. This is where healing begins. Part 2. Meeting the child within, the one who carries your emotions. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself walking into a quiet room within your own heart. The air is still. The world feels softer. Nothing is rushing you. Nothing is demanding anything from you. In this room, your inner child waits. The part of you who has felt everything more intensely than your adult self ever allowed. The part of you who remembers the original wound, the first fear, the old disappointments, the longing to be held, the desire to feel safe. This is not a metaphor. This is the emotional blueprint of your life. And today you meet them. Not to change them. Not to fix them. Simply to understand them. Because inner peace begins with understanding. The truth your inner child has been carrying. For years, maybe decades, your inner child has held emotions your adult self didn't have space for. They carried sadness so you could keep functioning. They carried fear so you could move forward. They carried loneliness so you could appear strong. They carried confusion so you could look confident. They carried longing so you could focus on responsibilities. They carried disappointment so you could survive. Your inner child is not the fragile part of you. They are the strongest part of you. They held your emotional truth. So the rest of you could stay upright in the world. But strength has a limit. And during the holidays, when memories rise, when quiet moments stretch longer, when the year's weight becomes clear, your inner child grows tired. They whisper through. Sudden sadness, unexpected anxiety, irritability, nostalgia, the sense of something missing, an ache you can't name, a longing you can't explain, a heaviness you can't shake. These sensations aren't random. They are messages. Not punishment. Not failure. Messages from within. Messages asking you to finally listen. You cannot heal what you refuse to feel. You were taught to be strong. To move on. To brush things off. To hide your weakness. To be the responsible one. To be grateful. To be mature. To be tough. And so you learned how to silence your feelings. To distract yourself from them. To run from them. To shame them. To numb them. But here is the truth. Ignored emotions become inner chaos. Silenced emotions become anxiety. Buried emotions become heaviness. Unseen emotions become self-doubt. Unfelt emotions become holiday overwhelm. The way out is the way in. You cannot heal what you refuse to feel. But when you give your emotions space, you don't drown in them. You free them. The emotional landscape of your inner child. Your inner child carries a map of your emotional experience. Their feelings might come forward as memories, but they're really unmet needs. Needs like, I needed to feel safe. I needed someone to listen. I needed comfort. I needed understanding. I needed affection without earning it. I needed to know it was okay to cry. I needed someone to slow down with me. I needed to feel loved without performing. I needed to be accepted as I was. The holidays often trigger these memories. Not because you're regressing, but because your nervous system still recognizes the moments you felt unseen, unheard, or unheld. You're not weak. You're remembering. And this time, instead of ignoring these needs, you meet them. The first step: letting your inner child speak. Imagine sitting beside that child in the quiet room of your heart. Imagine their small hands resting in their lap. Imagine their eyes looking up at you, filled with a mix of hope and fear. Now ask them, gently, what are you feeling right now? And wait. Wait for the first emotion. The small whisper. The subtle sensation in your body. The tightness behind your ribs. The lump in your throat. The warmth in your eyes. This is their voice. It may sound like sadness, or fear, or exhaustion, or longing, or confusion, or numbness, or disappointment. There is no wrong answer. Your inner child doesn't need solutions. They need permission. Permission to feel. Permission to be heard. Permission to exist. When you listen, without judgment, without trying to fix anything, healing starts. The second step: validating what was never validated. Most of us grew up without true emotional validation. We were told, you're too sensitive. You're overreacting. You're dramatic. You're too emotional. Don't cry. Move on. It's not a big deal. You're fine. But you weren't fine. You were overwhelmed. You were scared. You were confused. You were hurt. You were alone with big feelings you didn't know how to process. So now, imagine saying to your inner child, it makes sense that you felt that way. You weren't overreacting. You deserved comfort. You shouldn't have had to carry that alone. I see why that hurt you. Your feelings matter. You did the best you could. Validation is the medicine your inner child never received. And the holiday season, with its emotions and memories, opens the perfect doorway to give it now. The third step: releasing emotional pressure. You may not realize this, but you have spent years holding emotions in your body, your jaw, your shoulders, your stomach, your chest, your breath, your back, your throat. Your body remembers what your mind forgot. Take a deep breath. Slow. Gentle. Now imagine your inner child breathing with you. Every exhale releases a little more pressure. This is not dramatic. This is not intense. This is not a breakdown. This is thawing. For years you've been emotionally frozen, carrying the same emotional patterns. Your younger self never had the tools to heal. Breathing is not symbolic. It is physical release. It tells your nervous system, we're not in danger anymore. We're allowed to feel. We're allowed to soften. We're allowed to rest. Your inner child feels this too. The fourth step: reparenting yourself through the holidays. Reparenting does not mean blaming your parents. It means giving yourself now what you needed back then. Reparenting looks like taking breaks when you're overwhelmed, speaking kindly to yourself, saying no to obligations that drain you, choosing connection instead of performance, letting yourself rest without guilt, giving yourself comfort when you feel tender, creating boundaries with people who exhaust you, allowing yourself to enjoy simple moments, letting yourself be human rather than perfect. This is what turns chaos into calm. Not perfection. Not productivity. Not emotional control. Compassion. Reparenting is self-compassion in action. And every small act of kindness toward yourself is healing your inner child from the inside out. The moment you begin to reconnect with yourself, as you meet your inner child, you may notice something shift inside you. Your breath feels a little deeper. Your chest feels a little lighter. Your mind feels a little calmer. Your thoughts feel a little quieter. This is connection. You're not just listening to your emotions. You're listening to yourself. The real self. The original self. The self you abandoned to survive. And that part of you is so relieved. You finally came back. Part 3 is where it all comes together. Where chaos transforms into calm. Where your inner child finds safety. Where you learn to create inner peace. Not as a temporary escape, but as a daily emotional foundation. And at the end of Part 3, you'll receive a gentle invitation to continue your healing journey with a free holiday guide designed to support your emotional well-being. Part 3, Rebuilding Yourself with Peace. Walking forward with a healed inner child. Take another breath. Slow, steady, intentional. You've walked far to reach this moment. You've looked inward, touched old feelings, listened to the child within you, and softened the chaos you've been carrying. Now, Part 3 is where it all comes together. Where you learn to build a new foundation inside yourself. One that supports peace not just during the holidays, but long after. This final part is not an ending. It is the beginning of a new way of being. Let's walk into it together. The calm that comes from understanding yourself. By now, you've seen how emotional chaos rises from ignored needs, unspoken truths, and the inner child's attempts to be heard. And here is the beautiful truth. Once you understand the reason behind your emotions, they lose their power to overwhelm you. Understanding is grounding. Understanding creates safety. Understanding brings clarity. Understanding turns fear into softness. Understanding transforms chaos into calm. Nothing is more stabilizing than realizing there was never anything wrong with you. Your emotions simply needed space, attention, and compassion. And when compassion enters the room, chaos has nowhere left to stay. The holiday season as a healing sanctuary. We often think healing has to be dramatic or painful. But some of the deepest healing happens quietly. In small moments. In gentle breaths. In stillness. In honesty. In allowing yourself to feel without rushing. The holiday season naturally creates this sanctuary. Longer nights. Slower days. Warm lights. Quiet reflection. A softened heart. A sense of ending and beginning at the same time. This season provides the emotional conditions your inner child never had. You finally have the time, the awareness, the maturity, and the safety to hold the feelings you once had to suppress. This is why the holidays feel emotional. They create the perfect environment for deeper healing. Now, the question becomes, how do you protect that healing? How do you build inner peace that lasts beyond the season's glow? Let's explore that now. Rebuilding your inner world. A new emotional foundation. Inner peace is not something you find. It is something you build. And you build it one small intentional choice at a time. Here are the building blocks of inner peace. 1. Listening to yourself daily. Peace grows when you pause long enough to notice what you're feeling. You don't need long journal sessions or hours of meditation. You just need awareness. A simple question can change everything. What is my inner child feeling today? This question keeps you connected to your emotional truth. It prevents chaos from building. It invites you to respond with compassion instead of avoidance. 2. Creating emotional safety inside yourself. Your inner child will not rest until they feel safe with you. Safety comes from consistency. Showing up for yourself even in small ways. Telling yourself, it's okay to feel this. I'm not abandoning you. We're in this together. This is emotional safety. This is reparenting. This is peace. 3. Resting without guilt. Your inner child is exhausted from years of emotional labor. One of the most healing things you can do is simply rest. Rest is not laziness. Rest is repair. Rest tells your inner child, you don't have to be strong all the time. This is where inner calm begins. 4. Setting boundaries to protect your energy. Peace requires boundaries. Not walls. Not rejection. Just clarity. Boundaries are not about keeping people out. They're about keeping your well-being in. Your inner child has been overloaded for years. Now it's time to protect them. Boundaries are self-love in practical form. 5. Speaking gently to yourself. Your inner dialogue becomes your inner world. Your inner world becomes your emotional reality. Your emotional reality becomes your life. If your thoughts are harsh, rigid, or punishing, your inner child will never feel safe. Speak to yourself the way you wish you were spoken to when you were young. Kindly, patiently, warmly. This is the path to peace. Saying goodbye to chaos. There is a moment, quiet, soft, almost unnoticed, when chaos loses its grip on you. It doesn't happen with dramatic revelation. It happens through recognition. You no longer abandon yourself. You no longer hide your emotions. You no longer silence your needs. You no longer run from your inner child. You no longer pretend you're fine when you're hurting. You no longer carry every burden alone. Chaos loses its power when understanding enters. And calm becomes possible when compassion stays. If you've been searching for inner peace for years, this is the doorway you've been missing. Peace is not outside you. Peace is the relationship you create within yourself. Walking into the new year whole. As you move toward the new year, you don't need to reinvent yourself. You don't need to fix yourself. You don't need to become someone new. You simply need to continue being present with yourself. Peace is not a resolution. It's a practice. A commitment. A daily homecoming. And you have already begun. The fact that you listened this far proves that something inside you is ready. Ready to feel calm. Ready to heal deeply. Ready to stop carrying emotional weight alone. Ready to return to the version of you that feels alive, open-hearted, and whole. Your inner child is not behind you. They are beside you. As you walk into a new year of softness, clarity, and emotional truth. A gentle invitation to continue your healing. Before we close, if today's journey touched something inside you, if it helped you understand your emotions, if it brought you closer to your inner child, if it helped transform chaos into calm, I created something to support you even more deeply. A free mini book. Coming Home for the Holidays. A Gentle Inner Child Awakening. It expands on everything in this audio journey, with exercises, reflections, emotional guidance, and gentle steps to help you carry your newfound peace into the rest of the holiday season and into the new year ahead. It is soft. It is grounding. It is healing. And it is my gift to you. You'll find the link in the description. Download it. Let it hold you. Let it guide you gently back to yourself. As we come to the end of this episode, I want to say this to you. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not too much. You are not failing. You are healing. You are remembering. You are returning. You are finally listening to the part of you that has waited for years to feel safe. And I am proud of you. If this journey supported you today, it would mean so much if you subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it with someone who needs tenderness this holiday, leave a comment about your experience. Your engagement helps this message reach others who feel alone in their emotional chaos. Thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for being brave enough to look inward. Thank you for giving your inner child the space they have always deserved. May your holidays be gentle. May your new year be honest. May your heart find the calm it has been seeking. And may you always, always come home to yourself.